Our next question comes from Jason Ward. After a brief and unremarkable stint as a wrestler in Portland in the early to mid-2000s, I've had several people in the business tell me they think I would be a good play-by-play announcer. I have even given it a try on a couple of occasions for a couple of different local promotions. It's something I enjoy and would like to do again. Are there any tips you can give me, or otherwise any qualities in a person that you feel make a good play-by-play man? And is there any kind of college degree necessary for this?
God, I hope not. Then probably most of the best wrestling announcers of the last 50 years might be, well, no, I guess JR, Lance, everybody went to college. They're educated people. Anyway, no, the only school you can go to is by watching wrestling, listening to great announcers, being able to figure out in your head what is good and what is bad, having a good voice, having the opportunity to get in front of somebody, getting plenty of experience on the job doing it, and hoping that someday you get good enough that somebody notices you. And if you look like you've been floating in the river for 3 days and are not a pleasing on-camera personality, it's probably going to work against you also, even if you can talk. Everybody always wants pointers. Once you have somewhat of an idea of how to announce wrestling, then you can be taught and you can be polished. But if you ain't got it to begin with, I don't know that you could ever get it. You know what I mean?
I do. And, I remember telling you this years ago, but I thought you and OVW reminded me so much of Bill Watts in Mid-South. And it made sense because you guys were running the company and you guys knew where all the programs were going to go. But in terms of that quality and how it adds to someone doing play-by-play, there are examples where it didn't. But when you know, because you're the booker or the owner of the company, exactly what direction everything's supposed to go in, so you present everything in the right way. Are there examples of guys who had no idea what was going to happen and still did a great job? Did Lance have an idea of the direction of anything when he got there on a Saturday morning?
Well, when he got there? No, not when he got there. That's what he found out when he got there. Because especially if Lawler was booking when Lance got there, Lawler was probably still writing the TV. It was only an hour before they went on live in front of 300,000 people. So there's no reason to get fucking, or nervous about this stuff. The thing is, Lance, they would briefly go over the show ahead of time, and Lance would have the card for Monday night in front of him. And if there were stipulations in the matches, the people that were mad at each other, he'd done it for decades. He instinctively knew. But the thing about whether you know what's going to happen or not, kind of how the guy needs to be portrayed. If he's a babyface, you need to find positive things to say about him or his quest to right his wrong where he's been, cheated by one of the heels. Or if he's a heel, you need to bring out the negative characteristics, just the little asides, the inflections rising and falling. When JR taught me that, even when you're talking about something else, a lot of people, if there's nothing going on and there happen to be plugging in, we'll be in Memphis, Tennessee on Saturday night with Ric Flair and Terry Funk on the card. And you're in the middle of that sentence and all of a sudden they come up with some big goddamn fucking move out of nowhere. Don't just stop and call it and you're just stopping and starting all the time. Instead, the inflection calls the move and then you react to it afterwards. And we'll be in Memphis, Tennessee on Saturday night with Ric Flair and Terry Funk on the card. What an incredible, just shit like that. It's just practice.